Hello and welcome to my channel. Today's video we are going to be making this cute little chicken nugget guy, and I am going to be doing this one in the video, but you can follow along by skipping all the color changes and make the brown one in the golden nugget color. You can also make the chicken if you make it all white. And then I have also tested it out in the plush blanket yarn, if you're using that style of yarn. And then all you'll do once you get to the end is pick which pieces you want to embroider, depending on which guy you decided to make. For the smaller chicken nugget, I'm using a number 4 medium weight yarn, a 4.25 millimeter hook, and 10 millimeter safety eyes. And for the larger plush yarn, I'm using a number 6 bernat blanket yarn, a 5.5 millimeter hook, and then I used 18 millimeter clear eyes that I painted the backs black. This is a crochet along, so I will be doing every stitch with you, and I am also providing a drop down at the top of the screen with the pattern instructions for the first 30 seconds of every row for you to follow along with. And if you enjoy this video, please hit the subscribe button and click that bell. Not only does that help me out, but you will also be notified every time I load a new video, as well as any likes, shares, and comments are always appreciated. Okay, I think that's everything. So grab your yarn and let's get started. Okay, we're going to be starting at the top of the head, so grab whatever color you need for whichever nugget you've decided to make, and you can begin any way you prefer as long as you have the same amount of stitches in row 1. I'll be making a knot with a loop at the end as if I was going to be making a chain, and then I insert my hook, grab my yarn, and chain 1. And remember, that does not count as a stitch. That just attaches our yarn to our loop. And for row 1, we're going to do 8 single crochets into the loop over top of our tail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then if you need to, grab that tail and give that a pull to close up the little hole you may have in the center. Grab a stitch marker if you are using one. And for row 2, we are going to do 1 single crochet, 2 increases, 2 single crochets, 2 increases, and 1 single crochet for a total of 12. So single crochet for 1, increase for 2 and 3, increase 4 and 5, single crochet, 6, single crochet, 7, increase, 8 and 9, increase, 10 and 11, and single crochet for 12. Row 3, we are going to do 2 single crochets, 3 increases, 3 single crochets, 3 increases, and 1 single crochet at the end. So single crochet, 1 single crochet, 2, increase, 3 and 4, increase, 5 and 6, increase, 7 and 8, single crochet, 9, single crochet, 10, single crochet, 11, increase, 12 and 13, increase, 14 and 15, increase, 16 and 17, single crochet, 18. Row 4, we are going to do 3 single crochets, 3 increases, 6 single crochets, 3 increases, and 3 single crochets for a total of 24. So single crochet, 1, single crochet, 2, single crochet, 3, increase, 4 and 5, increase, 6 and 7, increase, 8 and 9, single crochet, 10, single crochet, 11, single crochet, 12, single crochet, 13, single crochet, 14, single crochet, 15, increase, 16 and 17, increase, 18 and 19, increase, 20 and 21, single crochet, 22, single crochet, 23, and our last single crochet, we're going to go in and pull up. And if you're following along with me, we're going to change color now. And if you're doing a solid color, just hang tight and join us once we have our color changed. So I am going to grab my Nugget color now. And I'm just going to tie that new color right onto my old color, nice and close to the hook, about 2 or 3 times. And then you're going to grab that new color and pull that through to finish off your last stitch. And I'm going to leave this hanging and tie it when we join the white again. Row 5, we are just going to do 24 single crochets all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Row 6, we're going to do 24 single crochets all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Row 7, another 24 single crochets all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Row 8, 24 single crochets all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Row 9, another row of 24 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and our 24th stitch, we're just going to grab our yarn and pull through the one time because we're going to change to white now. And if you're not doing a color change, again, just hold tight, bear with us, and we will get back to the next part. So I'm going to cut my nugget color now because I'm done with it. And then I'm going to tie that to my white, nice and close to the hook, but this time make sure you leave slack here because you don't want to pull and squish that part down. So just a loose one and then slowly tighten as you go, making sure you have slack on the inside on that white one. So I'm getting pretty tight here, so that's enough. I'll just show you there how it looks in case you want to see how that one is nice and loose right there. And then you're going to grab your new color and pull that through to finish off that last stitch. Now this next row we are going to be doing the little wings. So when you're doing these two, you're going to follow me along, and then if you're doing the little, just the regular nugget, when I get to the wings, just hold tight, and your next stitch will be when we start single crocheting again. Alright, so this row we're going to start with 7 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now only if you're doing the wing, you're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now you're going to go back down this side. You're going to start with a slip stitch in the second chain from the hook. Then you're going to do a single crochet in the next stitch. And then you're going to do a half double crochet in the last stitch. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook, grab your yarn and pull up, and then grab your yarn and go through all 3 of those loops. Now we're all going to start back again whether you did the wing or not, and we're going to do 10 single crochets across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now only if you're doing the wing, we're going to chain 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down this side, slip stitch, single crochet, and half double crochet. And then all of us together again, 7 single crochets to finish off the round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we should have a little guy that looks like this with or without the wings. Row 11, we're going to do 24 single crochets all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and if you're going around the wing, you're going to go from this stitch right here to behind this stitch right here. So you're going to pull your wing, and you want to go right in there between your wing and your first stitch. So 8, you may need to pull that. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and again you're going to come from behind the stitch where you just went to behind this stitch right here in between that stitch and your wing. So behind the wing and in behind that first single crochet. Give it a pull if you need to. So that was 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Row 12, you're going to do 24 single crochets all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, whoopsie, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Row 13, 24 single crochets all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whoopsie, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Row 14, 24 single crochets all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. All right, we're going to put the eyeballs in first. So you're going to find your center loop, and this is going to be row 1, and they're going to go between rows 7 and 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So right here between 7 and 8. Decided where your center is, and I think I have it pretty centered where I have it. And you're going to go 2 holes from wherever you found your center. So that's your center, 1, 2, and in that second hole is where you're going to put your first eye. Then you're going to do the same thing on the other side, 1, 2, and in that second hole. Have a quick look, just double check that you've got them centered how you want them. And if you are happy with that, you're going to put the backs on. your second one. And we're going to give him a little mouth. So grab your black yarn or whatever color you've decided you're using. And you're going to come up just inside the eye here. And you're going to go over just inside the eye there. Leave a little bit of a tail down at the end for you to tie. Then you're going to go over to the other side and down and out. And now if you want to give them a little smile, you're going to come up right here, one row below in the center of your mouth. So right there. And you're going to go under that mouth you just made, around, and then back down in the hole you just came up through. And make sure you're not going in any of your stitches on the inside when you do this. Give it a little bit of a pull. You may have to adjust and tug on your other strings a bit to even it out. And then once you're happy with it, we're just going to flip it inside out and give it a tie. Not too tight, just so it stays how you have it. So I do a couple loose ones and then my last one is fairly tight. And you can give that a trim. Now if you're giving it cheeks, grab your pink or whatever color you've chosen. We'll put that on our needle. And again, we're going to come from the inside and we're going to go over one stitch from the eye. So right about here. And of course you can put these any way you want. This is just how I did mine. Again, leave some thread down here for tying. And this time I'm going on an angle. And you can put them up and down or straight across, however you want them to look. I'm going to do them twice. Oops, grab some of that yarn. Then you're going to go over to the other side and match that same stitch. So again, I'm just below the eye, one hole over. And then I'm going on an angle again. And I did the other one twice, so I'll do this one twice too. You may have to play with them a little bit. The stitches actually don't line up very perfectly. And then you're just going to flip it inside out again and then give those a tie. Loose it first and then tighten as you go, because you want a little bit of slack here for when you stuff them. And then give those a cut. And if you're just doing the nugget right now and you want to give him the little white eyes, all you're going to do is exactly how you did the cheeks, only you're going to come from the inside. You're going to come up on top of the eye, and then you're going to come back down on the side of the eye. Go around on the inside to this side, come up and around to this side and down, up on top of the eye, and tie them in the back. All right, let's do his little top part here. So grab some red or whatever color you're planning on using, and you're going to just tie a little knot with a loop in it because we're going to be attaching this. So just like if you were making a chain, and you're going to fold him in half this way. You want to have a line of stitches up the center right here that you can follow along with. And we are going to be starting, so if this is our center loop, 1, 2, 3, so in between rows 3 and 4. So right there. 1, 2, 3. Grab your yarn. You're just going to come through a little ways and make a chain of 1. Then you're going to do a half double crochet in that same stitch. So yarn over in that same stitch, grab your yarn, pull up, and then go through those 3 loops on your hook. And then you're going to slip stitch into the next row. Oopsie. Chain 1, do another half double crochet in that same stitch. Then we're going to slip stitch in the next row. This time we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and we're going to do a double crochet in that same stitch. So yarn over into that same stitch, grab your yarn and pull up, grab your yarn and go through the first 2 loops, grab your yarn and go through the last 2 loops. And now we're going to skip over, it's hard to see, I know, but there's your first center loop. You want to go behind that into the next row. So you're between row 1 and 2 on the back side now, and you're slip stitching. And we're going to go back to our chain 1 and our half double crochets. So half double crochet, and then I'm just going to slip stitch in the next stitch and tie off. So cut that yarn, and then you'll hide your ends in here. And here's a little trick: if you ever cut your yarn too short, you stick your needle in first, and then you can thread that yarn into the needle and pull it through. And you want to make sure you pull that so the knot is not showing right there. And then we'll also thread this end in. So I'm just going down in the same stitch that we would have went into when we made our half double crochets and our slip stitches. Actually, I might go on this side. And then pull that down. I'm going to give that a trim. We don't need all that hanging around. Careful not to cut your other strings. And now we'll do the little beak up top here. The only difference here between the actual chicken and the chicken nugget is your beak is going to be down low, and for the costume the beak will be up high. So I'll be doing mine up here. You'll be doing yours instead of doing the mouth that we did earlier. Which I forgot to mention, so I'm going to have to put a note in there in yellow. So I'm just going to start on either side of where we put the red. Leave some string at the bottom. And I'm going 2 stitches down in between so we can make a point. And I'm going to do this 3 times on each side. Whoops. So I'm basically making a V shape. from one side to the other, kind of working my way to the inside of the stitch. So this will be twice on each side, and I'm coming up to do my third time on this side, and then my third time on this side. And you may need to do more, up to you. I think that'll work for me. And I'm just going to come out so I can tie it. That one could have been a little more to the center. If they're not too lined up, you can just kind of play with them a little bit. My first stitch should be more on the outside there. And once you're happy with it, flip it inside out and we'll give that a tie. And again, you're going to do that loosely. Oh, see, I went through my pink there. That's not what we want to do. There. Just tie it so that you're not pulling the stitches from the other side. So a couple of loose ones and then a tight one. Now I made my string long enough that we can do the feet now too. So if you did the same, we can just continue. If not, grab another piece of yellow. And what I did was I found my center 2 rows up. So 1, 2 in the center. So I want my, whoops, let's use a pin instead. So I want my first toe of my foot to be on either side of that center pin. So there's the top of my first toe. And I'm just going to go over a little bit so that the middle one is mostly facing down. And maybe 2, no, 1. You might just have to play around with your placement of your bottom here. Then I'm going to go 1 stitch over, and then back in that same bottom one. And then I'm going to go 1 more stitch over, and then back in that bottom one. And now I'm going to go all the way back over to this side to start my second one. So I'm 1 over from that second stitch. Now we want to kind of match these if we can. So we only go over a little bit on this side. We don't want a long stitch like this on our first one if we can help it. And we'll just do exactly the same thing, but in reverse for the other foot. So I'm just going over 1 stitch on the top and the same stitch on the bottom. Get rid of this now, I guess. And then again, flip it inside out and we'll loosely tie that. We want to have if you use the same string, you want to have some slack. Oops, I got a lot of strings going on here. So I'm going to tie to my original beginning string and nice and loose so we're not pulling that down and putting any tension on that thread. And then trim whatever ends you need to trim. I might get rid of this pink one. Okay, we should all be in the same spot now, no matter which chicken or chicken nugget we were doing. So let's insert our hook. And you can stuff now if you want as you go. I'm going to do a couple more rows before I stuff mine. And for row 15, we're going to do 4 single crochets, 3 decreases, 6 single crochets, 3 decreases, and then 2 single crochets to finish off the row. So single crochet, 1, single crochet, 2, single crochet, 3, single crochet, 4, and we're decreases you can do invisible. I'm just going to do regulars for the tutorial. So decrease 5, decrease for 6, and a decrease for 7, single crochet, 8, single crochet, 9, single crochet, 10, single crochet, 11, single crochet, 12, single crochet, 13, decrease, 14, decrease, 15, decrease, 16, single crochet, 17, and single crochet, 18. Row 16, we are going to do 3 single crochets, 3 decreases, 3 single crochets, and 3 decreases for a total of 12. So single crochet, 1, single crochet, 2, single crochet, 3, decrease for 4, decrease for 5, decrease for 6, single crochet, 7, single crochet, 8, single crochet, 9, decrease, 10, decrease, 11, and our last decrease for 12. Now let's get our stuffing in there now. And what you want to do when you are stuffing your little guy is make sure, because the whole point of us doing the increases and the decreases on the sides was so he can be wide and flat. So make sure you're pushing your stuffing out to the sides and using your thumb to kind of keep him from like puffing out in a circle. Unless you want him to be round, and then you just stuff him however you want. While I'm stuffing him, I'm just going to remind you guys, down in the description, I usually have some links to some of my social sites, like Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. If you want to share a photo of anything you've made with me, you can go to my Facebook craft page and find a post and leave a comment on there. I love seeing what everybody's making or how they change something or whatever they're creating. And I will usually get back to you quite quickly there, but I may not ever get back to you on TikTok and Instagram. All right, I think I have him how I want him. So you see how he's on the flatter side, and then I've rounded him out and kind of pushed out his sides. So let's get our hook back in there, and we will do our final round So row 17, I'll usually do 6 decreases here. If you're doing invisible decreases, you may not have to do all 6 or any at all. I'm probably going to do 5 and then a slip stitch. So let's do a decrease for 1, decrease for 2, decrease for 3, decrease for 4, decrease for 5. I'm just going to have a look. Yeah, that's going to close up nicely. So I'm just going to slip stitch in my next stitch and tie that off, leaving a little bit of a tail to close up, or a little longer if you want to bring your thread up through the center. So I'm going to get rid of my stitch marker now. I'll thread that end on. And then to close it up, we're just going to go in the top loops of our last row, back and forth, till we get back around to the other side. And after I close this up, I'll just show you, I think the brown nugget I decreased, or I've invisible decreased, and I'll just show you the difference if you're never done an invisible decrease and you want to see how much nicer it looks. So I'm just going to tie a knot now in the next stitch. And then you want to try and get back down in the center. And I always take mine up through my top loop where I first started. Just because I never know if I want to hang this or make it a keychain, or you have that option now if you have your thread up at the top. Oh, he's so cute. I don't know how I even come up with this guy, but he's so cute. So used to seeing everybody else come up with these great ideas and be like, how come I didn't think of that? So here's the difference between invisible decrease on this side. See how there's not many holes showing through? And then look how messy just a regular decrease looks. Okay, thanks for watching. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this video or any of my others, please hit the subscribe button and click that bell. Not only does that help me out, but you will also be notified every time I load a new video, as well as any likes, shares, and comments are always appreciated. And as always, take care, be safe, and happy crocheting.